Welcome back. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi held a meeting on Sunday over the status of strategic reserves of goods and supplies and efforts of providing them for citizens across governorates. During the meeting, President Sisi directed to provide all basic commodities at suitable prices at governmental outlets across the country. Details.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi held a meeting on Sunday over the status of strategic reserves of goods and supplies and efforts of providing them for citizens across governorates. The meeting dealt with following up the situation regarding the strategic stock of basic supply commodities and the government's efforts to provide them to citizens with affordable prices. During the meeting, President Sisi directed to provide all basic commodities at suitable prices at governmental outlets across the country. The President was briefed by the plans of a number of food industry companies to boost the state's strategic reserves and enhance the value of the national product in the local market, increase its competitive capabilities, and maximizing export opportunities. A cooperation and partnership scheme with a number of countries with experience in palm oil production was also presented in order to establish a logistical zone that specializes in refining and producing oils for the benefit of local consumption and to enhance export opportunities. The meeting was attended by Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli, Minister of Local Trade and Supplies Ali Al-Musalhi, and Minister of Agriculture Sayyid Al-Qusayr, as well as the head of the Army's National Services Projects Authority.
Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry to deliver a message from President Assis to Charles Michel, the President of the European Union Council. Foreign Ministry spokesman Ambassador Ahmed Hafiz said Shoukry's meetings in Brussels will include talks with EU foreign ministers and bilateral talks with a number of EU foreign ministers and senior officials of the European Commission. He said that the talks will focus on bilateral ties and regional issues of mutual concern. Minister of Water Resources and Irrigation Mohammed Abdelhadi said Egypt is capable of protecting its rights in the River Nile. He said that all scenarios are on the table with regards to the Ethiopian dam file. Abdelhadi was speaking during an open dialogue organized by the Higher Council for Regulation of the Media. He said all state authorities are working around the clock and will make the necessary decision at the time suitable for its interests. Welcome back. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi endorsed a bill on the 2021-2022 budget of the Agricultural Authority worth £1.706 billion. The President also endorsed the budget of the General Authority for Reconstruction Projects and Agricultural Development at £24.328 billion, worth £910.3 million. The 2021-22 budget of the Egyptian Survey Authority was also ratified by the President. The head of state also signed bills on the budget of the Industrial Development Authority, the Egyptian General Petroleum Corporation, and the Industrial and Mining Projects Authority. The budget of the Egyptian Electric Utility and Consumer Protection Regulatory Agency were also approved. The ratified draft laws were published in the official Gazette on Sunday. Within the framework of stimulating the investments of the private sector in Egypt, Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli paid a visit on Sunday to the regional factory of Schneider Electric's company in Badr City. Here are more details.
Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli inspected on Sunday the regional factory of Schneider Electric Company in Badr City. The Premier was accompanied by Electricity Minister Mohammed Shakir, Trade Minister Naveen Gamal, Cairo Governor Khaled Abdelail, Head of General Authority for Investment and Free Zone, GAFI, Mohammed Abdel Wahab, and other officials. During the tour, the Premier reviewed the latest production lines of the control and distribution centers, as well as the main unit production RM6 and the modern intelligent ring feeder line. He also inspected the latest work concerning establishing new production lines, as well as reassured on the implementation of the health and safety measures. The Prime Minister said that the visit comes within the state's keenness to support investments of the private sector in Egypt. He also hailed the developed capabilities of the regional factory of Schneider Electric Company and its active role, noting that the Egyptian market is ready for more investments. For its part, the company thanked the Premier and the government over their support to the foreign companies working in Egypt, noting that the company is considered Schneider Electric Company's regional hub in northeastern Africa and East Arab world.
Stock indexes collectively slayed in the week's first trading session on Sunday after being affected by selling operations of shares in different categories that reduced profits of early trade. Analysts said that profit-making selling operations by local and foreign investors and investment funds led indexes to slide early in the trading session and exceeded purchasing operations by Arab investors in different categories. The benchmark EGX30 index slid by 0.31% to end at 10,153 points. The EGX70 index for small and medium businesses also slid by 1.01% to reach 2,296 points. The broader EGX 100 index also slid by 0.89% to close at 3,224 points. After all indexes slid by sales of investors, the market capitalization lost £2.6 billion to close at £655.21 billion amid transactions of about £4 billion. The Suez Canal Authority (SCA) said on Sunday the canal revenue rose to a record $5.84 billion in its 2020-21 financial year, July-June, up from $5.72 billion in the previous year. The authority also said that the canal's revenues in the first 6 months of this year increased to about $3 billion compared with $2.76 billion in the same period last year, despite the grounding incident of container ship Ever Given in March. Despite the Ever Given blocked the canal for 6 days in March and disrupted world trade, it was allowed to leave the canal earlier this month after the authority reached a settlement with its owner and insurers, and judicial sources said that a lawsuit filed by the SAA for compensation before an Egyptian court was called off on Sunday after the settlement. The Suez Canal Authority also said that the number of ships that passed through the Suez Canal increased in the first half of 2021 to 9,763 vessels, compared with 9,546 ships during the same period last year.